Chelsea have protected Enzo Fernández for months. Now that patience is dead. After public clashes, transfer flirting, and another disastrous summer, the club has finally made a move that could change his future completely. And what Chelsea have just decided proves Enzo may no longer be untouchable at Stamford Bridge.
Enzo Fernández wanted more from Chelsea. More recognition, better terms, more control over his future. Instead, 4 months after publicly questioning whether that future should even be at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea have taken control of the situation themselves. And the warning signs started long before Manchester City arrived. Back in April, Enzo publicly admitted he would examine his options after the World Cup and spoke openly about wanting to live in Spain. At the time, he was wearing Chelsea's captain's armband in Reece James's absence. Chelsea manager Liam Rossinier decided he had crossed a line. Enzo was removed from the squad for 2 matches, including a Premier League game against Manchester City. Rossinier described the comments as disappointing from someone expected to lead the club. Chelsea had already punished Enzo once. He apparently did not understand how badly his words had damaged his position. Enzo and his agent later apologised. His representatives had also been seeking improved terms at Chelsea. The message was becoming increasingly awkward. Enzo wanted Chelsea to value him more, while simultaneously allowing questions about whether he wanted to remain there. Then the Spanish escape route started collapsing. Real Madrid had been repeatedly connected with Enzo. He had spoken about wanting to live in Madrid. Yet Real Madrid subsequently released a public statement denying that they intended to make an attempt to sign him this summer. Enzo flirted with the exit. Madrid closed the door. For a while, Chelsea appeared ready to repair everything. New manager Xabi Alonso spoke privately with Enzo and made his position clear in July. He wanted the Argentine to stay. Alonso called him a great player and said he was looking forward to working with him. Enzo was coming off his best Premier League season with 10 goals and 4 assists in 36 appearances. Chelsea still had a footballing reason to protect one of their biggest investments. Then Enzo's summer became uglier. Argentina reached the 2026 World Cup final against Spain. Enzo finished it early. He received a second yellow card after fouling Pau Kubasi and was sent off in stoppage time. Spain eventually won 1-0 after extra time. That red card does not explain Chelsea's transfer position. There is no evidence Chelsea decided to sell him because of what happened in the final. But Enzo returned from the World Cup with another controversy attached to his name. And waiting in England was a transfer situation about to explode. Manchester City want him, and the man pushing that interest knows Enzo extremely well. Enzo Maresca worked closely with Fernandez at Chelsea. Under Maresca, Enzo became an important part of a team that finished 4th, won the Conference League, and lifted the Club World Cup. Maresca is now at Manchester City, and City are considering Fernandez as part of their midfield plans. That alone creates an uncomfortable picture. Chelsea spent around £107 million bringing Enzo from Benfica in January 2023. It was a British record transfer at the time. He has 6 years remaining on his contract. He is entering what should be the prime of his career. And Chelsea are prepared to discuss sending him straight to Manchester City, a Premier League rival. The club, now managed by the coach Enzo enjoyed working under, the same Manchester City whose relationship with Chelsea is already strained after Maresca's departure. City paid Chelsea £17 million compensation to appoint him after his controversial exit. If Chelsea considered Enzo completely untouchable, this conversation would end immediately. It has not, because Chelsea have now put a price on his head, £120 million. And the number comes with something even more brutal: a deadline. Manchester City have until 5 p.m. UK time on Friday, August 14, to make their move. Chelsea have told City that if their demands are not met by then, they do not intend to sell Fernandez during this transfer window. That changes everything. Chelsea are no longer allowing this story to drift toward deadline day. Interested clubs have already had almost 2 months to act. Chelsea want Xabi Alonso and the squad focused on the new season, and the club does not want another transfer distraction hanging over the dressing room. £120 million. Friday, 5 o'clock. Make the decision or disappear. Before we continue, subscribe to the World Cup Whistleblower, because Chelsea have finally shown exactly how much it takes to remove Enzo Fernández from Stamford Bridge. And the next detail makes his position even more uncomfortable. Chelsea have already looked at a possible replacement. Chelsea have inquired about Bournemouth midfielder Alex Scott as an option should Fernandez leave. That is the detail Enzo should hate. Xabi Alonso can say he wants him. Chelsea can praise his ability. The club can insist it will keep him if nobody pays. Meanwhile, somebody inside Chelsea has already asked what the midfield could look like after Enzo is gone. And Manchester City may never give him the escape. City's interest is connected to the uncertainty surrounding Rodri, who wants Barcelona. Barca have already submitted an improved offer of around €60 million. City are considering their midfield options in case the Spain captain leaves. But City have already spent enormous money. Elliot Anderson arrived for £116 million. City are also closing in on Lille midfielder Ayoub Bouadi in a deal reported around £85 million. Chelsea's £120 million valuation of Enzo may simply be too high. And that creates Enzo's nightmare scenario. What if Manchester City look at £120 million and walk away? Real Madrid have already publicly distanced themselves. Manchester City could decide he is too expensive. Chelsea have refused to let the saga drag on. Then Friday reaches 5 o'clock. Nothing happens. Enzo stays. Contracted until 2032. Back at Stamford Bridge. Back with supporters who know he considered his options. Back under a manager who wanted him, while the executives above that manager have just demonstrated that £120 million would have been enough to sanction his departure. Imagine the humiliation if nobody pays. Enzo once looked like the player holding the leverage. He could talk about Spain. His camp could seek improved terms. Madrid could hover in the background. Chelsea had invested more than £100 million in him and appeared desperate to keep their midfield star happy. Now, Chelsea control the price. Chelsea control the deadline. Chelsea decide whether City gets permission to take him. And Chelsea can simply keep him for another season if City refuses. Enzo's power has disappeared remarkably quickly. There is still another side to this story. Chelsea are demanding an enormous fee because Fernandez remains enormously valuable to them. Alonso genuinely wants him. His contract gives Chelsea no financial pressure to sell cheaply. A £120 million valuation is hardly the price you attach to a player you consider worthless. But that is precisely what makes the situation so revealing. Chelsea do not need to sell. Chelsea are still willing to sell, even to Manchester City. The player once described as the future of Chelsea is now available if somebody arrives with the right check before Friday afternoon. And if City do it, Enzo could be reunited with Maresca almost immediately. If City refuse, the entire balance changes again. He remains Chelsea's player. The Madrid dream is gone for now. His Manchester escape collapses. The improved terms he wanted suddenly become much more difficult to demand from a position of strength, and Chelsea will know they survived the transfer window without surrendering control. Friday at 5 o'clock is therefore bigger than a normal transfer deadline. It is judgment day for Enzo Fernández. Manchester City will decide whether he is worth £120 million. Chelsea will discover whether anyone is prepared to meet the price they have placed on him. And Enzo will discover whether the transfer market still sees him as the superstar capable of dictating his own future. Chelsea once shattered the British transfer record to bring him to London. 3 years later, they have given one of their biggest rivals a deadline to take him away. Chelsea may still need Enzo Fernández on Saturday morning, but by Friday afternoon, we will know exactly how ready they were to live without him.